So exercise 1.1 question. Use Euclid's division algorithm to find the HCF of 272 and 1032. 272 and 1032. Okay. 272 and 1032. So sorry, first we'll use Euclid's division algorithm to find the HCF of 867 and 255. Now 867 is greater than 255. Okay. So we shall apply Euclid's division algorithm. Since 867 is greater than 255, therefore applying Euclid's division algorithm, Euclid's division lemma or algorithm, Euclid's division lemma to 867 and 255. So here, what was the Euclid's division lemma? It was C is equal to what? DQ plus R, whereas R less than D greater than or equal to R less than D and greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so this was Euclid division algorithm or Euclid division lemma, or it was like A is equal to BQ plus R, A is equal to BQ plus R, R less than B greater than or equal to 0. Okay, now if we divide it, let's divide it. So how to solve? You have to draw a line like this in the, you have to draw a line like this in this side. So divide 867 by 2. How many times it will go? 255. 867, how many times 867 will go? How many times 867 will go? How many? Let's see. Wait, just let me erase it. Okay. So 867 divided by 255 by 255. So it will go up to, it is around, okay, if you do round figure to 250, so it will go 3 times. Okay, so it will be 3 5 the 15 carry 1, 3 5 the 15 plus carry 1 is 16, 3 to the 6 plus 7. Now if we do 1 minus 5 is equal to 2 0 1. So here we can write like this, that 867 is equal to 255 into 3 plus 102. Now remainder is not 0. So now remainder 0 again applying, since 10, since we should write like this, since 10 directly we should write like this, is 10, since remainder 102 not equal to 0. So applying Euclid's division lemma 2, applying Euclid's division lemma to what? 255 and 130, 102. 255 and 102. 255 and 102. So let's apply Euclid's division lemma to 255 and 102 and 102. Now let's apply. So 250, what you can write? 255 is equal to 102. How many times it will go? 2 times. So if we divide 255 by 102, 102 into 2, 204. So ultimately it will be 151. So 102 plus 51. So now remainder not is equal to 0. Since remainder not is equal to 0, see, we should not stop until we found remainder 0. So remainder 51 not is equal to 0. So applying Euclid's division lemma. Euclid's division lemma. Euclid's division lemma. Applying Euclid's division lemma to 102 and 51. Okay. Now let's apply Euclid's division lemma to 102 and 51. So 102 is equal to what? 51 into 2 plus 0. Now remainder is 0. So we shall stop here. Okay. So which one is our HCF? Therefore HCF of 867 and 255 is 51. Why have you stopped in this stop? Because in this stop remainder is 0. Therefore in this stop remainder is 0. Therefore the HCF is 51. HCF of 867. HCF of 867 and 255 is 51. So remainder of HCF, since remainder is equal to 0, therefore HCF of 867 and 255 is 51. Okay. So now let's move on to question number 4. Solution of this question number 4. So here, since same procedure, since 1032 is greater than 272, so applying what shall we apply? Applying Euclid's division lemma. Applying Euclid's division lemma to 1032 and 272. 1032 and 272. So let's do rough here. Divide 102 by 272. How many? It is approximately 270, right? Sorry, it is 272. It's not 278. So it is approximately what? Approximately it is close to 272. So now how many times it will go? Close to 300. So it will go 4 times. See, let's check whether it will go 4 times or not. 4 2s are 8, 4 7s are 28, carry 2, 4 2s are 8 plus. So it will be, if it will go 3 times. It will go 3 times. That means it will go 3 times. Okay. That means it will go 3 times. Okay. So 3 2s are 6 and 3 7s are 21, carry 2 3 2s are 6 plus 8. Now 12 minus 6, here it is 6. Here 6 minus 1, it is 5. Okay, here it is 2. Now let's see. So that means 1032 is equal to 272. How many times it is go? 3 times. But what is the remainder? 256. So now since remainder 256 not equal to 0. So applying, what should we apply? Applying Euclid's division lemma. Euclid's division lemma. So applying Euclid's division lemma to what? To this number 272 and 256. Now let's apply. So 272. So how shall we apply? So 272 is equal to 256. How many times it will go? 1 times. Plus what will be the remainder? See. So 272. Let's divide 272 by 256. So it will go 1 times. 256 1 256. So it will be what? It will be here 6. Here it will be 1 16. Okay. Plus 16. So here again remainder is not 0. Since remainder 16 is not equal to 0. Since remainder 16 not is equal to 0. So applying Euclid's division lemma. applying Euclid's division lemma to 256 and 16 to 256 and 16. So what shall we get? Now let's apply 256 is equal to 16 into what? So divide 2, let's divide 256 by 16. 16 ones are 16. Actually it will be 16 square. Okay. So yeah, 16 ones are 16. It will be what? 5, 9, right? So it will be ultimately 0. That means 16 into 16. How many times it will go? 16 times plus 0, right? So here, okay. So here remainder. What is the remainder? Remainder is 0. So that's why. What will be the our so here one mistake we have made. Actually, it should be 1032, not 1072. It should be 1032, not 1072. So ultimately we have to erase all this 1032. Okay. So let's erase this. It will be. Shall erase this one also. We should erase this one. Okay. Should erase this one. Actually, it is 1032, right? And I have written 1072. So here it will be like this. So remainder will change. So remainder will be different. Actually, but it is 1032. So it is 6, right? So now it will be 6, 1, 216. So it will be now 216. Let me raise it. It will be now 216. 216. It will be now 216. Okay. This is the. So now 216 plus 216. So remainder 216 not equal to 0. So applying Euclid division number to 272. 272 and 216. 272 and 216. 272 and 216. So right. So if we apply, what can you write? 272 is equal to how many times? One time. 216 into 1 plus what? So 200 divide 272 by 216. 216 what will go one time? So 216. It will be 6 and it will be what? 56. So plus 56. Now remainder 56 not is equal to 0. Now remainder 56 not is equal to 0. So applying division lemma to 216 and 56. 216 and 56. So now let's apply 216 is equal to 56 into what? Let's divide it. 216, 56, it will go 3 times. It will go 3 times. So 168. Now here it is 8 and here it will be 4, right? 48. That means 56 into 3, 56 into 3 plus 48. Now again remainder is not 0. Since remainder, now see, remainder 48 not equal to 0. Remainder 48 not equal to 0. So applying Euclid's division lemma. So applying Euclid's division lemma. Applying Euclid's division lemma. Euclid's division lemma. Applying Euclid's division lemma to what? 56 and 48. 56 and 48. Now 56 is equal to. So what can we write now? We can write like this. 56 is equal to what? 48 into 1 plus, how many times it will go? Plus 8. Now still remainder is not 0. So since remainder, this is remainder 8 not equal to 0. So again applying. Again we shall apply what? We shall apply Euclid's division lemma. So again applying Euclid's division lemma. Euclid's division lemma 2. So again apply Euclid's division lemma 2. What? 2, 48 and 8. 48 and 8. Okay. Now if we apply Euclid's division lemma to 48 and 8, what shall we get? We shall get 48 is equal to 6 into 8 plus 0. Sorry, you should write like this. You should write first write divisor, right? 48 into what? 8 into 6. 48 into 8 into 6. Because if you divide 48 by 8, it will be right 0. So that means 48 is equal to 8 into 6 plus 0. Now here remainder is 0. Since remainder is 0, so we should stop here. Since remainder is 0, therefore in this step, since remainder is 0 in this step, therefore what can we say? We can say that therefore HCF of 1032 and 272 is 8. Okay, 1032 and 272 to 8. So this is the procedure to find the HCF of two number using Euclid's division algorithm. So note that Euclid's division algorithm is only applicable for finding the HCF of two number. Euclid's division algorithm is applicable for finding the HCF of two number. Okay. Now let's move on to question number 7. Okay. So question number 7 it is. Question number 7. So solution. Okay. Since 1296 greater than 384. 1296. So applying Euclid's division lemma. Applying Euclid's division lemma. Applying Euclid's division lemma. To 1296 and 384. Now how can we apply? So let's write 1296 is equal to 384 into what? So how to find into what? Let's divide 1296. 12. So let's divide this 1296. Let's divide this 1296. 1296. Let's divide this 1296 with 384. So let's divide it. So this is just for doing graph. Okay, you should write in the side like this. So how many times it will go? It is exponent 400. That means it will go. If it will not go 5 times, it will go 3 times, right? But it will, if I write 4 times, it will be more than this. So it will go 3 times. Before that, we have carry 1 is 24 plus carry 1 25. Now carry is 2 3 is 9 plus 2 11. Okay. So 6 minus 2 it is 4. 9 minus 5 it is 4. 144. So it is plus 144. Now the remainder is not 0. Since remainder 144 not equal to 0. So applying Euclid's division lemma. Applying Euclid's division lemma to 384 and 144. So let's apply Euclid's division lemma to 384 and 144. So how shall we write like this? 384 equal to 144 into what? Right? So let's divide 384 by 144. Right? It is close to 150, right? It's close to 150. It's close to 150. That means what? That means how many times it will go? So it will go 2 times. It will go 2 times. So it will go 2 times. So it will be 288. Now here it is 6. Here it is 9, 96. So 144 into 2 plus 96. Okay. 144 into 2 plus 96. Now, since remainder 196 not equal to 0. So applying, what shall we apply? Applying Euclid's division lemma to which number? Applying Euclid's division lemma. Applying Euclid's division lemma. Applying Euclid's division lemma to 144 and 96. To 144 and 96. Now let's apply. So what can we write? We can write like this. 144 is equal to 96 into what? Let's find it. So let's divide 144. It will be go for one time. 96 into 1 is 96. Because if it go today, it will be more than 180. So now 14 minus 6, it is 8. Here it is 13 minus 9, it is 48. Okay. 96 into 1 plus 48. Again, since remainder 48 not is equal to 0. So applying Euclid's division lemma. Applying Euclid's division lemma. So applying Euclid's division lemma to 96 and 148. So not 48, 148, 48. Now let's apply Euclid's division lemma to 96 and 148. So now, sorry, 48. So 96 is equal to what? 48 into what? So let's divide 96 by 48. So how many times it will go? It will go 2 times. It will be 96, remainder 0 plus 2 plus 0. Now, remainder is equal to 0. Remainder is 0. Remainder equal to 0. So we should stop in this step. We should stop in this step, and therefore since it will be since, and therefore HCF of 384 and 1296. 384 and 1296. HCF is, what is the HCF? It is 48. Is 48. Is it clear? Is it clear to everyone? Let's check it. Okay, so the HCF of 384 and 1296 is 48. Okay, so HCF, this is the HCF, and if you divide these two number by 48, you can see that both number is divisible by this. This is the highest common factor of the both numbers. So both number is divisible by this 48. So HCF of 384 and 1296 is HCF of 384 and 1296 is what? It is 48. Now let's move on to next question. Okay. So it is a Euclid's division lemma to show that the square of, use Euclid's division lemma. Euclid's division lemma to show that the square of any positive integer is either of the form thrisem or thrisem plus 1 for some integer m. Okay. So let's write it. Okay, solution of this problem. Let A be any positive integer. Let A be any positive integer. Let A be any positive integer. Let A be any positive integer and B equal to what? And B equal to what? B equal to, let's say, b equal to, let's say, 3. Okay, let's be, and I explain why. Let's say, shall we assume that b is equal to 3? Because, let me explain to you why shall we assume that b is equal to 3. Also, it is given, I think, it is given in the hint that we should assume b is equal to 3. Also, it is given in the hint. Also it is given in the hint. So let b is equal to, now let me tell why b is equal to 3. Why shall we assume b is equal to 3? Because square of any positive integer, suppose 1 square, 1, 2 square, any positive integer, 2 square means 4, 3 square means what, 9, 4 square means what, 6. Now can we write it like this, 3 in this form? Here it is 3 into 0 plus 1, it is what, 3 into 1 plus 1, right? Here it is 3 into 3 plus 0. Here it is 3 into 3 plus 1. So you can see that either in all this case b is equal to 3, right? We can see that in all this case b is equal to 3. That's why we are assuming that, and let a is equal to, a be any positive integer, and b is equal to, what? B is equal to 3. So now let me erase all this. Why? Okay, in all this case, see, these are in the, these are in the form of, these are in the form of, these are in the form of what? These are in the form of, see, here a is equal to b cube plus r. So this is our 3, this 3 is b, this 3 is b, this 3 is b, this 3 is b. See, q is different, right? Q is different and also r is different. So in all this case, b is equal to 3. So that's why I'm assuming that b is equal to 3. Okay. If we assume no problem, more than this, you can assume no problem. So now let me erase all this. Let me erase all this. Now see, we shall probably know, it is better to understand this. Why shall we now? I have explained why we shall assume b is equal to 3. And see, let a be any positive integer and b is equal to 3. So applying Euclid's what? Division lemma. Applying Euclid's division lemma. Applying Euclid's division lemma. To a and b. So what can you write? That a is equal to, what can you write? A is equal to b cube plus r, where what is the range of r? R less than b and greater than equal to 0. Now a is a, so what is the value of b? B is 3 thrice cube plus r. Therefore possible values of b, therefore the possible values of r, therefore the possible values of r, possible, therefore the possible values of r is, r can be 0, 1, 2, but it can be 3, right? Is less than 3. That means the value of b is 3, so it should be less than 3, but it can be 3. Possible value was 0, 1, 2. So now let's put those value of r. So if we put, so r can be what? A is equal to what? Thrice q. Okay. Or a is equal to thrice q plus 1, or a is equal to what? Thrice q plus 2. Now it's a square of this integer. Now let's do square of this. Okay. So if we do square, s square is equal to what? 9q square. Here s square is equal to what? Square of, it says square of any positive integer. So a be the any positive integer. So square of this thrice q plus 1 whole square. Now s square is square of this thrice q plus, sorry, thrice q. So square of this means what? Thrice q plus 2 whole square. Now let's break it. So here, so we can write this as 3 into thrice q. That means this thrice q is our m. Okay. So here we can write thrice q square plus 6q plus 1. Now, what can we take common? We take 3 common. Okay. So what will be? If we take 3 common from this, so it will be what? It will be q square plus twice q plus 1. So here, if we break this, So now see, now let's go. So here 3 into m plus 1. Okay. So where m is equal to what? 2 square plus plus q some integer. Where m is equal to what? M is equal to thrice cube. In this case, we break it will be what? Here it will be 9. Sorry, here it will be 9. Let me erase it. It will be what? 9 cube square. Then after that we have common, right? Then it will be 9 cube square. And if we take common here, it will be m. If we take common here with 3 common, then it will be thrice cube square plus thrice cube square plus twice cube plus 1. So m is what? Thrice cube square. M is thrice cube square. So here m is now it will be what? 9 cube square plus 12 cube plus 4. So now can we write this like this? 9 cube square plus 12 cube plus 3 plus 1. Now if you take 3 common, so it will be what? 3 cube square. Let me write it more clearly. So now if we take 3 common, so that will be 3 cube square plus 4 cube plus 1 plus 1. Now here this thrice m plus 1. So where m is equal to what? M is equal to thrice cube square plus 4 cube plus 1. Okay. Integer, right? M is integer. So therefore, every square of any positive integer, therefore, square of any positive integer, is either of the form thrice m or thrice m plus 1 for some integer m for some integer m. Okay. So this is the proof of this. Let me correct it more properly. Write it more properly. M is equal to what? M is equal to thrice q square plus twice q. Okay. So square of any positive integer is either of the form thrice m or thrice m plus 1 for some integer m. Hence proved. Hence showed. Showed or shown. You can write both. And shown. Okay. So let's solve next question. So next question is question number 5. So how to solve it? Solution for it. Okay. So here I will use different color for solving this. So use Euclid's division lemma. Show that the cube of any positive integer is of the form 9m or 9m plus 1 or 9m plus 1. So let a be any positive integer. A be any positive integer. A be any positive integer. A be any positive integer and b is equal to 3. Okay. So now let me tell you why shall we assume that b is equal to 3. So now do the cube of any positive integer. 1 cube means 1, 2 cube means 8, 3 cube 27, 3 cube 27, 4 cube 64. So let me tell you why shall we now we can write this as it was 9 into 0 plus 1. About this 9 into 0 plus 8, and about this 9 into 3, and about this 9 into 7 plus 1. Okay, so you can see that we can express the cube of any positive integer either in the form of 9m or 9m plus 1 or 9m plus 8. Okay, so that's why okay, so here let me tell you also, let's check now 5 cube. Let's check now 5 cube. Okay, so here here 5 cube means what? 25. 5 cube means 25. So we can write it at plus 8, right? Now, so that means what? Yeah, in this case, what is cube? Cube. So this is means what? 3 into 13 plus 8. So this is our cube. In this case, 3 into 7 plus 1. So that means 3 into 7. This is our cube. In this case, 3 into 3. So this is our cube. In this case, what? In this case, 3 into. So this is our cube. Similarly here, 3 into 0 plus 1. So this is our cube. So these are expressed in the forms of, what? A is equal to b cube plus r. A is equal to b cube plus r. Here in all this case, b is equal to 3. You can see. That's why we are choosing the value of b as 3. So let a be any positive integer. Now let me erase all this. Let me erase all this. Now these all are expressed. These, from this we can say that if we take, you can take more the value of p as 9. Any value you can take, no problem. Okay. But we are choosing 3. So let a be any positive integer and b is equal to 3. Let a be any positive integer and b is equal to 3. So applying Euclid's division lemma. Applying Euclid's division lemma. To A and B. What can you say that? We can say that A is equal to B cube plus R, whereas R less than B, greater than or equal to 0. Now the value of A is A and value of B is what? 3 plus R, where R less than 3, greater than or equal to 0. Now the possible values of R. What are the possible values of R? The possible values of R. What are the possible values? 0, 1, 2. This can be 3, right? Because we have chosen value of B is 3, and R is less than B, so it can be equal to 3. Now that means A is equal to what? That means now we shall put those values. That means A is equal to thrice cube plus 0, a is equal to thrice cube plus 1, or a is equal to thrice cube plus 2. And it is said that cube of, so we should do cube. Now a cube is equal to cube of this positive integer, that's why we are doing cube. A cube is equal to thrice cube, so it is ultimately 27 cube. So we can write it like this. We can write it like this: 9 into 3 cube. So here 9 into m, where m is equal to 3 cube. M is equal to 3 cube. Okay. So similarly here, if we do cube, a cube is equal to what? Thrice cube plus 1 whole cube. Now the value of this 27 cube plus thrice a square b, that means 9 into 3, 27 cube square plus thrice ab square, So 9 cube plus 1. Now we can take 9 as common. If we take 9 common, what will be here? 3 cube plus 3 cube square plus cube plus 1. So here 9m plus 1, where m is equal to, in this case, thrice cube plus thrice cube square plus cube. Okay. Now let's do it. So the cube of this is thrice cube plus 2 whole square, thrice cube plus 2 whole square, sorry, whole cube. So here ultimately it will be 27 cube plus thrice a square b. So thrice a square means, right? So 3 square means 9, and 3 nines are 27 cube square, 27 cube 54 cube square ultimately it will be. Now we are using this formula: a plus b whole cube is equal to what? A cube plus thrice a square b plus thrice ab square plus b cube. Okay. So now we have written thrice cube, now thrice ab square. Thrice. What is? Let me erase it. Let me write directly without writing this step. So thrice a square b. So thrice ab square. Now thrice 3 to the 6 cube. 3 4 the 12. 12 3 is 36 cube. 36 cube plus 8. Now if we take 9 common, so here it will be thrice cube plus 6 cube, right? 6 cube. Sorry, here it will be square, not cube. Thrice a square b, right? Thrice a square b. So here it will be thrice a square b. That means here it will be 6 cube. Here it will take 4 cube plus 8. So is equal to 9m plus 8. Now where m is equal to? Where m is equal to thrice cube plus 6 cube square. It should be square. Again, it should be square. It should be square. Okay, it should be square. So 6 cube square plus 4 cube. Right. Now we can say that all these are in this form. So this is what? This is the, see, this is cube of integer in this form, cube of integer in this form, cube of positive integer in this form. Okay. So now what can we say that? We can say that therefore the cube of any positive integer, cube of any positive integer is of the form is of the form 9m plus 1 or 9m plus 8. Okay, and shown. And shown. Okay, so I have explained why I have taken the value of b is equal to 3. Okay. Now, I shall explain. See, what if we would take the value of b more than 3? There will be more remainder. There will be remainder would be, suppose if we take value of b as 9, so there it will come as, the possible value it would come as like this. Just for rough. So it will come as like this. A is equal to instead of 3, it will be, if we consider value of b is 9, so it will be 9 cube plus, suppose 2, if b is 2. Okay, so if you do cube of this, what we get? We get what? 81 cube, not 81, it will be 9 cube means what? So 729 cube plus 3 into 9 cube whole square into 2 plus 3 into 9 cube into 2 square plus 2 cube. Okay, so it will be ultimately 729 cube plus 3 into 27 cube square into 2 plus 3 into 9 cube into 4 plus 8. So ultimately what will get? 729 cube plus 162 cube square plus 108 cube plus 8. So what ultimately again we will take 9 common, and here it will be what? 81. See, 81 cube plus here it will be 18 cube square. Here it will be 12 cube plus 8. So in this case again it will be 9m plus 8, right? In this form would come. So it will be long. That's why we have taken the value of b is equal to 3. Okay, it will be, calculation will be simple. It will be easy. Okay, that's why I have taken the value of b is equal to 3. If you take value of b is equal to 9, no problem, calculation will be long. That's it. But it will come in this form. Either it will come in this form 9m or 9m plus 1 or 9m plus 8. It will always come in this form, any of this form. Okay, so that's why we have taken this. Now let me erase all this. Okay, now let's solve this question number 7. Let's solve this question number 7. So solution. There is a circular path. Let's draw the circular path. Suppose it's just to explain to you I am drawing. So there is a circular path around a sports field. Okay, suppose this is sports field. This is a sports field. Okay, and this is our circular path. This is our sports field. And this is our what? Circular. This is our circular path in that field. Okay, let's say there is a circular path around a sport field. Sonia takes 18 minutes. Suppose there is Sonia. Sonia takes 18 minutes. So this is suppose starting point. Sonia takes 18 minutes to drive one round. Okay, of the field. So Sonia takes 18 minutes to drive one round of the field, and Ravi takes, suppose from the same position, Ravi. Okay, from same position, suppose. From the same position, suppose Ravi takes 12 minutes. Okay, 12 minutes to complete. So Sonia takes from here to come from here to here, from here through this path. Sonia takes 18 minutes, and Robbie takes from here to here. It takes 12 minutes. Okay, Robbie takes 12 minutes for the same. Suppose they both start at the same time. So if they start at the same time, okay, at the same point at the same time, at the same point. So this, suppose this is the point where they start together. So and go in the same direction. That is, if they come going anti-clockwise direction, go in same direction, after how many minutes will they meet again at the starting point? So after how many minutes will they meet again at the starting point? Okay. So how to solve it? Now see, when Sonia will take 80 minutes. Sonia is taking more time. Right? So here, see, now we can solve it using unitary method, but we have to, using various method we can solve this problem. Okay, but here we have to solve it using what? Using the method given in your book. Okay. So we have to solve using the method given in your book. Okay. Now let me solve it is, just practically, just let me show you with different color to be better. So stick there. So when Sonia will be here, okay, right? In 9 minutes, Sonia will be here, okay. So and in 6 minutes, so in 9 minutes, see, that means let's me in 4 minutes, Robbie will be here. In another 4 minutes, he will be here, right? In another 4 minutes, he will be here. So Sonia will take, see, 81. Sonia will be here for 9 minutes, and Robbie will be here for what? 9 minutes. Okay. So see, Robbie will cover in 6 minutes. Robbie will be here. Sonia will be here in 9 minutes. Okay, 9 minutes, and in 6 minutes, within 6 minutes, Robbie will be here. Now, who is moving fast? Of course, Robbie is moving fast, right? Robbie is moving fast by 3 minutes here. Okay. Again, just try to understand. Again, when so again, when in 18 minutes, or when it is 18 minutes, Sonia will be here, and in again, even when in another 6 minutes, Robbie will be here. So in how many after how many minutes will they meet again? That means we need to find what? We need to find the LCM of these two. That means we need to find the LCM of these two. Okay. So given, you should write like this: given Sonia takes okay, I will explain in another way also, don't worry. Sonia takes 18 minutes. Given Sonia takes 18 minutes to drive one round of the circular field, one round of the circular field, one round of the let me erase this, one round of the circular field. And Robbie takes 12 minutes to drive one round of the circular field. So the time when they will meet will be the, therefore, time when they will, so the time when they will meet time when they will meet at the starting point will be the LCM of 12 and 18. Okay. So LCM of 12, 18. What will be the LCM? How will you write the LCM? See, if we factorize this, 12 means what? 2 into 2 into 3. That means 2 cube into 3. 18 means what? 2 into 3 into 3. That means 2 into 3 square. So LCM will be what? LCM of this would be the whatever the common and the remaining terms. Okay, so common terms is what? 2. Here, common terms is 2. Okay, so if I tell you here, this 1 2 is common, here 1 3 is common, so it will be 2 into 3. And what are the remaining here? 2 into 2 into 3. 2 into 3. So ultimately, it will be 6 into 6. That is 36 minutes. 36. Therefore, after 36 minutes, after 36 minutes, they will meet again. They will meet again at the starting point. At the starting point. Okay. After 36 minutes, they will meet. That means they will meet again at the starting point. Who will meet? Sonia and Ravi. Now let me explain to you in a different method. Okay. So that your concept about this get clear. Let me explain. Okay, I shall explain now. Shall I erase? Yes, let me erase this. And let me explain that. Let me explain. Suppose this is the starting point for this is the starting point for Sonia. Right, Sonia, and this is the starting point for the same starting point 0 0, and this is the same length. Okay, this is the same length of the field, circular field, and just cut the circle and have just draw the circle, draw the path in straight line. So here you can see that this is the middle, right? Here also it is the middle. So here, this is one, this is another, this is one. Let me read it. I'll tell you what are these. Just to explain to you. Let me this. This is one, and this is another. Here, this is one, and this is another. See, now what are these? Let me tell you. So at 3 minutes, at 6 minutes, position of Sonia at 9 minutes, at 12 minutes, at 15 minutes, at 18 minutes. So now position of Ravi at 4 minutes, 4 minutes, sorry, not 4 minutes, position of Ravi at 3 minutes, at 6 minutes, at 9 minutes, and at 12 minutes. So now see, let's try to understand, just to explain to you now. Sonia. (36), Ravi, see, just see, at 12 minutes they will be here. At 12 minutes, Sonia will be here, right? At 12 minutes, Sonia will be here. And at 12 minutes, who? Ravi will be here. See how much? See, what is the difference between time? Right? There is a lot of difference. Now at 18 minutes, Sonia will complete one rotation. Okay. And at 18 minutes, Ravi will complete 1/3. Okay. So at 12 minutes, Sonia will complete here. In 18 minutes, yes, Sonia takes 18 minutes. Sorry. Sonia takes 18 minutes. Sonia takes 18 minutes. Sorry. It is just 18 minutes. So now 12 on the 2. So at 18 minutes, Sonia will be here. And at 12 minutes, you will complete. So the time difference is what? Now the time difference is 6 minutes. So Sonia takes 6 minutes more, right? Okay. Now again after 12 minutes, you will complete. Again after 12 minutes, you will complete 2 second rotation. Okay, you will complete from, will come from here or second times. But after 12 minutes, where will be Sonia? Sonia will complete. Yeah, Sonia will be here approximately. Okay. So after, that means 24 minutes, and again after 12 minutes, you will be here. Again after 12 minutes, you will be there, and Sonia will be here. They will be in same position. So that's why we try to find the LCM. That's why we try to find the LCM. Okay. That's why we try to find the LCM. Okay. That's why if I explain, if you take scale and if you divide the circle in 36 parts, then you will understand in more better way. We divide the circle in 36 parts like this. Okay. So and if mark this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 like this, then we'll understand more better way that why shall we find the LCM instead of HCF. Okay. Now let's move on to next question. Prove that root over 5 is irrational. Okay. Before understanding this, let's understand fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Fundamental theorem of arithmetic. So suppose fundamental theorem of arithmetic says every number can be expressed as the product of the prime number. Suppose 18. So we can write 18 as 2 into what? 2 into 3 into 3. That means all the numbers are prime. There is no other way. There is not a single chance that there can exist any other prime number. Okay, so this is what fundamental theorem of arithmetic says. there is no way that there can exist any other prime number other than this two and 3. There is no other way that there can exist in this number. Every number can be expressed in unique way according to fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Okay, so that's the theorem which we shall use here. Okay, so now let's try to understand this. So let's assume that solution. Let's assume that let root over 5 is rational number. Let root over 5 is rational number. Rational number. Let root over 5 is rational number. So we can express. So we can express root over 5 as root over 5 means equal to a by b, right? Where a and b are coprime. That means they don't have any common integer. Okay. So now after, can you write a is equal to doing cross multiplication root over 5b. So if you do the square of this, it will be a square is equal to 5b square. A square is equal to 5b square, right? So now let me erase it because it looks like 6. It looks like 6. Okay, because it looks like 6. It looks like 6. So here, if we do square, a square is equal to what? 5b square, because square and root will get cancelled out. So now see, if we rearrange this, we can write like this: 5b square is equal to a square, right? So can we write it like this? B square is equal to a square by 5, right? Now there is a theorem. It says that if p is a prime number, and if p divide a number, p divide a square of a number, then p will divide that number as well. Suppose it said that theorem. Let me state it. Let p be a prime number. If p divide a square, then p divides a. Okay, where a is positive integer. Now here a square is divided by 5. That means a will also be divided by 5. Here a square is divided by 5. Therefore, a will also be divided by 5. A will also be divided by 5. Okay, a will also be divided by 5. Okay, now let me take another color. A will also divided by 5. So now if a divide 5, a is divided by 5. So after division, we will get some value. Suppose this is c. Okay. So what can we write now? A is equal to 5c. A is equal to 5. Okay. Now, if we substitute the value of a here, suppose this is the question 1. Now, putting 2 in 1. Now, putting 2 in 1, we get what we get. We get that 5b square. The value of a is what? The value of a is 5c. So whole square. So ultimately we will get ultimately we will get what? Ultimately we will get what will get 5b square is equal to 25 c square. So here it will be b square is equal to 5c square. Now you can see that we can write it like this. We can write it like this. 5c square is equal to b square. This implies c square is equal to b square by 5. Now, since b square is divided by 5, therefore b is also divided by 5 or divisible by 5, right? So that means what? That means both A and B have at least 5 as common factor. So both A and B, 5 both because B is also divided by 5 and here also A is also divided by, right? A will also divided by 5. That means A and B have 5 as common factor. But this contradicts the fact that A and B are co-prime, right? But these contradict the fact that A and B are co-prime. This contradicts the fact that A and B are co-prime. Okay. This contradiction has arisen because of our incorrect assumption. This contradiction has arisen by because of our incorrect assumption that root over 5 is rational number has arisen because of our correct assumption that root over 5 is rational number. So we conclude that root over 5 is irrational. Hence proved. Okay, it's clear. I hope it is clear to you. I hope it is clear to you. So you have to solve like this, you have to prove like this. So next question is this, then we have next question is this. Okay. This is the same thing. Okay, this is the same thing. Okay, same proof, same. We have to solve it like same way. We have to solve in the same way. Okay, so let solution or proof. Let 3 plus 2 root over 5 is rational. That means, therefore, 3 plus 2 root over 5 is equal to A by B where a comma b are co-prime, where a comma b are co-prime, okay, and b not is equal to 0. Okay, so that means what we can write? We can write that 2 root over 5 is equal to, and co-prime, that n a b are co-prime integer comma co-prime are co-prime, and b not equal to m integer. Okay, these are integer. Here 2 root over 5 minus 3. Now we can write like this: 2 root over 5. Sorry. So we can erase it. What can we write? You can write that root over 5 is equal to 1 by 2 into a by b minus 3. Now squaring both sides. Now squaring both sides. What shall we get? 5 is equal to C. No need to do square. Here we don't need to square. Here we don't need to do square. Here we can solve in different method. So here you can see that here since 1, 2, a comma b, 1, 2, 3, and a b. Since 1, 2, 3, since a comma b integer, a comma b are integer, therefore 1 by 2 comma b are also integer, and hence rational, but root over 5 is irrational. But root over 5 is irrational. Therefore, irrational, that is the value of, integer 1 by 2 into a by b minus 3 is root over 5, which is irrational. Okay. Therefore, we conclude that, okay, see now this contradicts our assumption that, right, that 3 plus 2 root over 5 is rational. This contradiction has arisen. So you can also write like this. You can also write like this. Let me tell you how. You can also write like this statement. You can write like this also, that 1 by 2 into a minus b are also integer and hence rational. So root over 5 is rational. So root over 5 is also rational, right? But this contradicts the fact that, This contradicts the fact that root over 5 is irrational. This contradicts the fact that root over 5 is irrational. Irrational, right? Now, this contradiction has arisen. Why this contradiction has arisen? This contradiction has arisen because of our incorrect assumption. This contradiction has arisen because of our incorrect assumption. Because of our incorrect assumption that 3 plus 2 root over 5 is rational. So we conclude that, so it is concluded that it is concluded that 3 plus root over 5 is irrational. This is the solution of this problem, hence proved. Or hence proved, yes, it's proved. See, let 3 plus t root over 5, let 3 plus 2 root over 5. So how we have done it? Let me show you. See, let's 3 plus 2 root over 5 is rational. We have assumed it is rational. Okay. And we have assumed this is rational. So a rational number can, what is rational number? The definition of rational number is that if a number can be expressed in the form p by q, that means this number is called rational number, or q not is equal to 0. Now, since we have assumed that this is rational, that means we can express this number. We can express this number in this form, p by q or a by, okay. Here a by b, we have written a by b. No, if we write p by q, no problem. So here a b are co-prime. Okay, we have assumed that a and b are, where a and b are co-prime, and b not equal to 0 and also integer. A, b and b are what? Integer. Okay. Now, if we do cross multiplication, if we take plus 3 in this side, right hand side will go as minus 3. Okay, and so in this side it will be 2 root over 5. Okay. So now it 2 is multiplied with root over 5. So if it go in right hand side, it will go as divisor. Okay, so here it is given as divisor. Now since a is integer, b is integer, so a by b minus 3 into 1 by 2 is also integer. Right? 1 by 2 into a by b minus 3 is also integer. And we know that integer are rational number. Therefore, we know that integer are rational number, right? Therefore, 1 by 2 into a b by minus 3 are also what? Rational number. So that means what? This is rational number equal to this number, right? This equal to this. That means this root over 5 is also rational number. But this contradicts the fact that we know that root over 5 is, this contradicts the fact that root over 5 is irrational number, right? So this contradiction has arisen. Why this contradiction has arisen? Because of our incorrect assumption that 3 plus 2 root over 5 is rational. So it is concluded that 3 plus 2 root over 5 is irrational, hence proved. Hence proved. Okay. So this is the way to solve. Okay. This is the way to solve. What is the way to prove that a number is irrational? Okay. So for today it is this.